Hare Krishna. So we'll start with some invocation prayer. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivash Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. So, my name is Padmanabh Das. I live in Harrisburg. And on behalf of our spiritual master, we welcome all the devotees. I see there are some guests who are here for the first time. So if you would not mind, can I please ask about your introduction and we can start from here, if you don't mind.
My name is Gauranga Das.
Gauranga Das Prabhu. Jai. You're from the Reading area?
I'm from Reading area. I was initiated in Mayapur
Oh my God.
in India. I lived in India for years.
Jai.
The Hare Krishna movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into devotees on Earth Day in Reading last week.
Oh, very nice.
And I was very surprised that we have the kirtan here in Reading.
Do you go to Philadelphia?
No, I went to
Janmashtami.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chariot of Gods.
Please keep coming here and give us your association. Thank you. Mother, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Allison,
Alison.
and I came with Eddie,
Okay.
and we brought
And him.
Miles,
Kyle? Miles, okay.
Bella, and Kaylee.
Wow, okay, good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And you ready to the devotees on today?
I edited it.
Edited. Thank you. Thank you for visiting us.
Thank you.
And
Hi, my name is Goran, and we live in West Lawn, and I saw a lady and a gentleman on the Earth Day a week or two ago, and we decided to come here.
your name was Gora?
Yeah, my name is Goran.
Gora.
G-O-R-A-N.
Okay.
And this is my family, my wife Kelly,
Okay.
Yagoda, and Zora.
Wow.
I come
Beautiful
from
names.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, your name took me by surprise. How do you spell your name?
G-O-R-A-N.
G-O-R-A-N,
It
Goran.
means the one from the hills.
Okay, and I'll give you another meaning of the name. Gauranga.
Goranga.
Yes. Gauranga means Gaura means golden, and Ranga is color. So one who is of golden complexion is called Gauranga. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He has various names according to His quality and nature and the pastimes He has performed. So one of the name He has is Gauranga because His complexion is like golden complexion. So your name took me by surprise. How come you have such a beautiful name? You really have a very beautiful name.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Did I miss any other devotees?
My name is Chaitanya Jivandas, and
There you go.
I have a business in West Reading. So I know the devotees in Philadelphia, and I heard about this place, so I've been trying to come here. Today's the first day I made it.
Thank you, Prabhu. We are all your servants. So please give me your blessing and everybody. And thank you for joining us. Wow, that's right in the beginning. So, any other devotee here who's here for the first time?
Not me at least, no. I was missing for a few weeks. So.
Yeah, missing is not considered first. So, let me just introduce what we are doing here and what everybody was doing at the Earth Day and so on. There was a gentleman who was named by his father Abhay Charan. Abhay means fearless, Charan means lotus feet. The lotus feet of the Supreme Lord is considered to be providing fearlessness to anybody. Whoever takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, he becomes fearless completely. So whoever has taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord is also called Abhay Charan, who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Abhay Charan was the name given by his father. He grew up in Calcutta. At that time, the Britishers were controlling India. And he became a pharmacist. Somehow, he met a spiritual master, a guru. His name is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Shri Thakur Srila Prabhupada. And when he met Abhay Charan for the first time, he says, Abhay Charan, you know English. You should take the message of the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, to English-speaking countries, because it is the most important thing that a human being should know. And so at that time, Abhay Charan did not think so much about that. But eventually, I'm just giving you a brief history, eventually by the influence of a spiritual master, at the age of 69, he finally somehow managed to come to USA. And that was in 1965. And while the way he was able to come to USA, he was able to secure a passage on a cargo ship. In 65, traveling through plane was pretty arduous. Coming through a cargo ship was, I cannot even imagine, there's only one or two cabins, one for the captain's family and one for, somebody else. So Abhay Charan, who has become a monk, his name was Bhaktivedanta Swami. He came suffering 2 massive heart attacks on the ship, but he wanted to come to the Western world to bring the message of Vedic culture and Vedic texts like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Have everybody heard about Bhagavad Gita? Or no? Okay. Bhagavad Gita is one of the most famous texts from India, and it talks about the most basic philosophy of spirituality. And it's not so much spirituality, it just talks about who we are, who is God, and what is our relationship with Him. And what is this material world, why we are here, what is the purpose of life. Just very basic, that we need to know as a human being is written in Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, on the urge of his spiritual master, came to the Western world in a cargo ship experiencing 2 massive heart attacks, not knowing a single soul in the whole country, but he had the blessings of a spiritual master. And the very first place he visited in USA was Butler, Pennsylvania. And he stayed there for a month. He was lecturing at YMCA. And then he taught that New York is the capital of the whole world. If I go to New York, I may be able to do something. And if I'm able to do something in New York, it may count. So, not knowing anybody, he went to New York. And somehow, at that time, the hippie movement was in its prime. And some of the young boys and girls, they saw Srila Prabhupada and they liked him and they invited him to stay with them, and he would lecture on daily basis from Bhagavad Gita. And slowly they started following philosophy, they started loving him, and they started accepting the Vedic principles, started living their life according to the how it is laid out in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And he established a society called International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which is called ISKCON, or it is also called as Hare Krishna movement, because all the devotees, they all chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And while chanting, you normally see them raising their hands like this, because they say that the God, especially in this age of quarrel and so much unorder, God can be easily achieved by just calling out His names. And it's a universal message preached by all the religion, not just Hinduism or Vedic. Actually, Christianity, the Muslim religion, and Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedic culture, they all talk about the same message, that just by chanting the holy name. And it's a very common experience. If somebody calls out our name with a lot of emotion again and again, we are slowly attracted towards that person. It's a very, when Mile started talking, right, there would be a competition who would call out first, his mother or father. Right? And when he would take the name of mom or he would say pa, it would fill our heart with pleasure. Right? And when he would want something, he would cry. And the cry is same to another person, but mother knows whether he's crying due to bad diaper, or he's crying due to hunger, or he's crying because he wants to go out. He used to cry. So that is the process of calling out to the Supreme Lord. Because the Supreme Lord is just like our mother, is just like our father. So when you call out like a small child, raising your hand saying, please lift me, please take care of me, He manifests His potency, His mercy, and He comes in front of us. Therefore, chanting of the holy name is very important. And the devotees used to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Therefore, the movement was called Hare Krishna movement. Prabhupada in 1966 initiated some devotees, and then he went to San Francisco. Some of his disciples then went to London, and somehow they met with Beatles, especially George Harrison was very much attracted by the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and they recorded an album called the Radha Krishna Temple. And that album went on to become a #1 hit on the Billboard. Was it called Billboard? I don't know what it is, but yes. So they stayed there for like 10 months or so as a #1. And that's available online, you can just download for nothing. And that has chants of Hare Krishna and so on. And George Harrison remained a follower of Hare Krishna till his last breath. And he helped the devotees to build a temple in London also. The temple is called Radha Landaneshwar. So eventually Prabhupada left this planet after 12 years in 1977. He came here in 1965. But he had 108 temples all over the world. And one of the main teachings he has is Krishna consciousness, or being conscious about who we are and what is my connection with the Lord, is the most important thing for a human being. Prabhupada used to give an example that if there is a fish and you take the fish out of the water and place it in a beautiful multi-million-dollar house on a marble floor or a big leather sofa, put the best food available in front of this fish, put the biggest TV, the best cars you have in the driveway, the fish will not be happy. You may keep asking, oh, you want another movie? You want to change the channel? Why are you not happy looking at the TV? But the fish will not be happy unless you put the fish back into its water. Similarly, the human beings, and more than a human being, the Bhagavad Gita says we have to understand who we are. So Bhagavad Gita, the very basic principle of Bhagavad Gita is we are not this body, we are soul. So the basic need of the soul is happiness. But each and every soul is happiness seeking. There is not a single person here who is not seeking happiness in their life, including me. There is not a single person who is not seeking happiness. But we are trying to seek for the happiness at wrong places, just like the fish who's made to sit on a sofa and put the biggest TV and different channels and whatnot, right? You give him the best cell phone, most name brand clothes. Nothing makes the fish happy. Similarly, the soul, we may surround ourselves with so many material comforts and so many things. It will not make us happy. Those things will maybe keep the body happy, but the soul will not derive happiness from it. Because that is, soul is spiritual and all this is material. They don't mix with each other. It's like oil and water. But when you put it, just like you put fish back into water, when the soul comes in contact with the super soul, or the spiritual happiness, that is its food. And that's when the soul becomes happy, and seriously we become happy. We find everlasting happiness. If happiness is to be somewhere else, then just by doing that, everybody should remain happy. For example, if happiness was in money, for a poor person, the happiness could be in money. When I was in India, before I came here, I had seen news channels in which they showed that there were people used to kill for Nike shoes, a pair of Nike shoes, especially Air Jordan. When he came out with the shoes, they were very expensive. A lot of people wanted it but can't afford. And they were thinking, that will make me very happy, having the Air Jordan shoes. And they used to kill for the shoe. But after putting the shoe on, still unhappiness prevailed in their life. Nothing in the material. I mean, a person who doesn't have a car thinks if somebody who's driving a Mercedes is very happy. But the guy who's driving a Mercedes, wait till you have to change the tires. It's $1,400. I just changed. So there is no happiness in there. If happiness was in money, each and every rich person should be happy. But they are also miserable. Right? So just like a fish would become happy when it goes in its real medium, which is the water, similarly us who are souls will only become happy when we come in contact with real happiness, which is the spiritual happiness, because we are spiritual beings. So that is the very first basic understanding of who we are. We are not this body, we are soul. Because if we say, I am this body, then who are you? We say, this is my hand, this is my head, this is my eyes, this is my nose, this is my legs. then everything is mind, mind, mind. But who you are? You're not this hand, you're not this head, you're not this eyes. So you're sitting somewhere else. But then if you ask that person, show me who you are, then he'll say, I am Prashant. He points at the heart. Because that is where we really live. Bhagavad Gita explains that the soul is situated in the heart, and through consciousness it permeates the whole body. That is the nature of the soul. Through consciousness it permeates the whole body. That's the symptom of soul. And therefore, when the soul leaves the body, it is called death. If this body was I, then, when my body is not moving and they want to put me into a furnace and burn me, they should not do that, because they should say, oh, Prashant is still here. Somebody when die, we say, no, he's gone. If the body was the person, then the body is still here. But something came out of the body, which was providing consciousness to the body, which was providing the vital force of existence into the body. And that is called soul. And Bhagavad Gita teaches that the soul is eternal, it does not die. It is part and parcel of the Supreme Being, the Super Soul, and it is eternal, it does not die. Just like when this cloth, when it became old, we discard the old clothes and put on new clothes. Or just like a car, right? The body is compared to a car and the driver is somebody else. You cannot say the car is the driver. And when the car becomes old, the driver just discards their car and gets a new car. Similarly, when this body is no longer useful, the soul discards this body and accepts another body. And how does a soul accept another body? There is a law of karma, which is to be followed. And hopefully we'll get more chance to discuss and more chance to talk, and we can talk about law of karma. How karma defines each and every action we take, defines what karma we are building up for ourselves and what will be the result coming out of it. So that's how soul transmigrates from one body to other. And there are 8.4 million desires, different desires, and they are made out of combination of 3 modes of goodness, passion and ignorance. Just like 3 different color lights. Sometimes we are in the mode of goodness, sometimes we are in the mode of passion, sometimes we are in the mode of ignorance. The external environment influences us. For example, if you go to a holy place, right? The environment is charged with spirituality. Early in the morning, you wake up, you're well rested, you're under the mode of goodness. Right? That is when the Vedic civilization, the Vedic culture, Bhagavad Gita says, one should practice spirituality early in the morning because the mind is very much rested. The intelligence is calm. We are in the mode of goodness. The time of early morning is considered to be mode of goodness. For example, you go to a church, a temple, the atmosphere is so spiritually charged. You don't feel like, even if you carry a 6-pack, you don't feel like opening and having a sip. Because just the mode of goodness is overcoming. But if you're sitting in front of a TV, nice games going on, right? Evander Holyfield fighting Mike Tyson, and you're thinking, oh my God, maybe I can have a sip. Right? But there is some very anticipated boxing match which is going to come pretty soon, I think, on pay-per-view. So people arrange, right, that I like to surround myself with a lot of... So when we are in such an environment, the mode of passion takes over. Or for example, when you go to work, and work environment is full of mode of passion. How do I move ahead, kill the competition, win more contracts, and so on. And then mode of ignorance, when we are sleeping, or when we are under intoxication completely. Right? We are under mode of ignorance. We can't even think right from wrong. So there's 3 different modes. They're always acting on each and every living entity. And they mix in different proportions at any given time. They are never acting in a pure form on each other. So it's 3 of them, they mix with each other in different proportions. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 3 raised to 3 raised to 3 raised to 3. It keeps going, iterating till it reaches 8.4 million different combinations. And that creates 8.4 million different desires to enjoy in a different way in this material world. And in order to enjoy different desires, there is different kind of body made so that we can inhibit that body, accept that body, and enjoy those desires. For example, if you want to dig up earth, you need certain kind of machinery to do that, right? So if you have a desire to dig up earth, then you buy that machinery. But if you have a desire to have a very smooth ride, you buy a nice luxurious car. But if you desire a very powerful car, then you buy a sports car. So according to different desires, there's different type of cars. But according to different needs, there are different kind of clothes in a department store, right? Winter clothes, summer clothes, and so on. So according to different desire a soul has, the material nature has arranged for different kind of bodies. So we can accept that body based on our karma. And just like when we go to the store, we may have a lot of desires to buy certain kind of clothes, but maybe we don't have enough money in our pocket to buy them. We don't have enough karma to get that body. So then you go out, you work hard, put overtime, get enough karma, then you fulfill that desire by getting that body. It's very intricate, cycle of karma, which dictates what will happen next in our life. So the whole material nature is governing the existence around here, but we, soul, Bhagavad Gita says, we are independent. We are always joy seeking, happiness seeking. So the soul really wants to get out of this material world, because material world is full of misery. Bhagavad Gita calls this material world Dukh Alaya Asasvatam. It's a full of misery, place full of misery, and always not permanent, very temporary nature. I'll give you a small example how this material world is full of misery. This finger here, the tip of this finger, maybe the tip of the finger is useful because I could put it in peanut butter and put it in my mouth. But let's say this portion of my hand, not very useful, right? It cannot give me a lot of happiness. But even in the 1 millimeter area, if I put a nail and put a hammer on it, it can give me unlimited pain. Each and every part, each and every pore of our body is designed that it can give us unlimited pain, but it cannot give us even smallest pleasure. So the whole material world, just take any relationship. I won't joke on husband and wife, but any relationship, we think, oh my God, if I marry this person, my life's going to become so great. But we know eventually when the realities of the life hit, the happy moments are less and the miserable moments are far more. And then we think children will make me happy. Oh my God, they come with a whole different set of problems. And then you think, oh, maybe when I have grandchildren, they'll make me happy. Oh, maybe if I have a better job, it'll make me happy. So everything in here is designed, the material nature is designed in such a way that no matter what we do, the miseries will keep coming in our life. Prabhupada used to say, nobody, not a single soul ever wakes up in the morning and say, okay, what will I do today to become miserable? Not a single soul does that. Nobody wants to become miserable, but the miseries come on their own. Isn't that true? I never wake up and say, what can I do myself to become miserable? I said it probably on the day I got married, but other than that, I never say that. What can I do myself to become miserable? But the miseries come in our life on its own, uninvited. Bhagavad Gita says, just like the miseries come in our life uninvited, happiness also will come in our life uninvited, because the miseries and the happiness, it's a product of a complex equation of karma, the kind of actions that we have done in the past. So what should we do? Should we work hard to just get so-called happiness in the life which is not going to come? Or should we intelligently try to get out of this situation so that we are not subjected to this material nature? And Bhagavad Gita is the vehicle that helps us to get out of this material nature and enter the spiritual world. So, in a nutshell, the real aim of life, what is my real aim of life? Who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I suffering even though I don't want to suffer? Why am I subject to so many miseries in my life even I don't want to be subjected to those miseries? Now, that is the real aim of Bhagavad Gita, how to solve all these things, right? That is the goal of life, how to solve these problems in the life. And what are the biggest miseries? Death is the biggest misery. Nobody wants to die. Certain days we want to, but really speaking, nobody wants to. And then nobody wants to become sick and ill, but we are forced. There is not a single person. You know how did Buddha became Buddha? He was a prince named Siddhartha, and his father would not let him go out of the palace. But one day he went out of the palace and he saw an old person who was bent at his back walking, and he asked his charioteer, "Who's that? Why is he walking like this?" And he says, "My dear prince, he's an old person, and due to his old age he is bent down, and he's walking slowly with a stick in his hand." Siddhartha says, "Oh, why is he old? What did he do to become old?" And the charioteer says, "My dear prince, everybody becomes old. It's the nature of life." "Oh, that means you will become old?" "Yes, my sir, I will become old." "I will also become old?" "Yes." "My parents?" "Yes, your parents will become old." And he becomes a little bit morose. Next day he again goes out and he sees a funeral procession. He's saying, "Why are they carrying that person on the shoulder?" In India, the funeral procession goes on the shoulder of 4 people. So, saying, "My dear prince, that person has died." "What is death?" So he explains that, a person ceased to exist. So, "Oh, will you die also?" "Yeah, everybody who has taken birth will die." "So my parents will die?" "Yes." "I will die?" "Yes." Then next day he sees somebody who is sick. And next day he sees somebody who has just given birth to a child. So he's wondering, "Oh my God, how do I solve this problem? I don't want to become old. I don't want to fall sick. I don't want to die. How do I solve this problem?" And they said, "There is no way you can solve this problem. As soon as you are born, you have to become old, you have to become sick, and you have to die." Right? Is there anybody here who has never become sick? I hope there's nobody here who has died. But so sickness is universal, death is universal, old age is universal. And old age, some people die young, we think, but in Vedic culture it is defined that the age before you leave your body is called old age. It's not that being 80 is old. So Siddhartha, in order to find solution to this permanent problems or the most important problems in the life, he started meditating and he became Gautam Buddha. And he said that unless we come out of this material world and we connect ourselves with our real existence, which is the spiritual being, we will always remain in the misery. So then, how does one connect with the Supreme Lord or the spiritual being? Right? So in this age, it is said it is very easy to reawaken our connection with the spiritual kingdom by just chanting of the holy name. Any name, each and every name of the Supreme Lord is equally powerful. One may chant Christ, one may chant Allah, one may chant different names of Krishna, Ram, Narasimha. Any names they like, they can chant. And each and every name is equally powerful. Prabhupada used to say, one should just sincerely call out from the bottom of my heart. It is our duty to serve the Supreme Being. Why? Prabhupada used to explain, if this is the hand, so one day the hand is thinking, since my childhood I've been picking up nice food stuff and putting in the mouth. I never get to enjoy anything. The mouth really enjoys everything. So today, I got this donut. I'm not giving it to anybody. I'll keep it in my hand. So it holds the donut for a day. Next day, this donut starts becoming stale. Third day, the donut is really bad, and the hand is weak because there is no energy, there is no food going in the body. So the hand is wondering, what should I do? I'm getting weaker now. So the hand can only become strong and be happy if the hand takes the donut and puts into the mouth, and the mouth chews and lets it go into the stomach, and the stomach digests and gives it back to the whole body. Right? So a part has to serve the whole in order to remain happy. Just like in a machinery, let's say in a watch. Nowadays there's digital watch, but we used to have this mechanical watch. So if one of the gear wheel says, I'm tired turning and making other people turn, I'm going to take a break and I just I'll turn whenever I want to turn. When that thing happens, the whole clock stops. Right? And the gear is useless and the clock is thrown in garbage can along with the gear wheel. Similarly, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So therefore, it is our natural duty to serve the whole. To serve the Supreme Lord. Just like it is natural duty of the hand to serve the whole body. So when we serve the Supreme Lord, the happiness will come on its own. And therefore, the Supreme Lord is not easily visible to our eyes. Therefore, He mercifully manifests in the form of a deity. Just like a small girl, just with playing with a Barbie doll, becomes very engaged with the Barbie doll. And even after she grows up, she'll try to, keep the Barbie doll with her. She'll fall in love with the Barbie doll, right? So similar exchange happens with the deity. When the Supreme Lord manifests Himself in the form of deity, the devotees serve Him like his own child, like his own friend, like his own brother, like his own father. And by serving Him in that way, he starts deriving happiness and a natural relationship is established. So that is why we have deity, we cook every day, and whatever we eat, before eating we offer to the deity, to the Supreme Lord, who is sitting in the form of the deity. And He eats, and when He eats, it becomes prasadam. Prasadam means mercy. And then when the food becomes spiritually charged. And when we eat that food, each and every cell of our body is nourished by the spiritually charged prasadam, or the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And it slowly changes our heart, changes our mind, and cleans ourselves and creates a relationship with the Supreme Lord. It is not so much a matter of theory, it is a matter of practice. We are all students of science, so if we really want to see if this process works, then we should practice it for 2 or 3 months in a proper environment. The practical should be carried out in a very proper environment, right? If you want to do a practical, when we go to the lab, the teachers, this is a saline solution, salt mixed with water. If you want to separate salt and water, then there is an experiment. You have to boil the water at 100 degrees. It boils at 100 degrees. You should have a condensing plate. The water vapors will hit the plate, and then the water will be distilled into another flask. You cannot heat the water up to only 70 degrees and say, oh, it's not separating, the whole experiment is wrong. No. You have to do it in the right way. You have to boil it to the 100 degrees. The water vapor has to heat the condensing plate and so on. Similarly, we should try as an experiment to practice chanting the holy name. Whatever we eat offering to Krishna. And we start practicing some simple principles like being vegetarian, no gambling, which stops a lot of speculation. The mind speculates a lot due to gambling. No intoxication, because intoxication changes the state of the mind and intelligence, does not allow us to focus on the Supreme Lord properly. and no illicit sex. And that brings a cleanliness in one's life. If following those 4 principles, if one just chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, from the bottom of his heart, we just chant for 10 minutes in a day, I will guarantee that one will see a difference within a month. And as we see difference, we should do more. We should do more. An unknown peace will start appearing in our heart. Slowly, slowly the relationship with the Supreme Lord becomes stronger and stronger. And He will manifest in our life. And He will lead us to the next steps. Today, we are trying to celebrate a festival. It is called Narsingha Chaturdasi. It is a true story that happened many thousands of years ago. And here you will see a small deity of a half man, half lion. There used to be a king named Hiranyakashipu, and please pardon for some heavy names, but I think you will like the story. Hiranyakashipu wanted to become extremely powerful, and he had demonic propensities. When we say demonic propensities, which means he did not consider anybody else more powerful than himself. He thought, I am the most powerful person. And we all sometimes think that way. We think we are the center of the whole universe. Everything should rotate around us. Everybody should be succumbing to our wishes and our needs. So Hiranyakasipu was very powerful, and he wanted to become even more powerful. So he did a lot of penance, and at the end of the penance, the creator of the universe, Brahma, appeared in front of him. See, the way the whole world works is the Supreme Lord in the Vedic civilization, in Bhagavad Gita, is called as Krishna. The word Christ and word Krishna has same origin. Krishna comes from Sanskrit word which means all attractive. So the name of the God, Krishna, means all attractive. So the Vedic scriptures decided that if one is all attractive, then he should be God. Right? And the God should be able to attract each and everybody's heart and should be able to remove miseries from each and everybody's life. So that's why he's called Krishna. So the Krishna, when he creates this material world, he establishes certain people in certain role to run the universe, to maintain the universe, to manage the affairs of the universe, and so on. So there is a personality called Brahma, who is the creator of the planetary system and so-called this body, and he's like the main chief engineer of this whole universe. Every universe has its own Brahma. So the Brahma appeared in front of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu said, I want to become immortal. And Brahma says, sorry, I cannot make you immortal because I myself is not immortal. Everybody has to die. Some may live longer, some may live less, but everybody who has taken birth has to die. So Hiranyakasipu was a very smart person. So he said, okay, can you give me a blessing that nobody can kill me during day, nobody can kill me during night. Nobody can kill me, not a single person whom you have created can kill me. And I cannot be killed by any weapons. I cannot be killed outside my house, I cannot be killed inside my house. I cannot be killed on the earth, I cannot be killed in water, I cannot be killed in sky. So he kind of thought of each and everything where possibly a death can occur. And Brahma said, okay, I give you the blessing. So Hiranyakasipu now became extremely powerful and he started conquering all the directions. And he used to torment a lot of his citizens also. But while he was committing penance, he was meditating, his wife was pregnant. And at that time, the demigods, they attacked his city and kidnapped his wife. And they were thinking, Hiranyakasipu is a big demon. If we kill his wife, she was pregnant, so along with the wife, his newborn baby will also die. So then Hiranyakashipu's life will end. We don't have to worry about it. But there was a saintly person called Narad Muni. He came and he rescued the wife of Hiranyakashipu. Her name was Kayadhu. So when Kayadhu was rescued, Narad Muni came and told the demigods that, how can you kill a pregnant lady? One should always be very merciful on a pregnant lady. So you cannot kill the pregnant lady because she is bearing another life in her womb. So she brings Kayadhu to his hermitage, and there on a daily basis he's teaching Kayadhu about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and various Vedic scriptures. As Kayadhu is learning from Narada Muni, who is a saintly person, the child in the womb is also listening the same messages. And the child in the womb became a devotee just by listening to the preaching of Narad Muni outside. That is the effect of environment. And I don't know if you would have noticed, but when we were going to have our first baby, we used to get many mailings, many advertisements in the mail that there was some kind of stethoscope which gets connected to some record player, and if you play some kind of music to the baby while it's in the womb, it helps develop certain qualities in the baby and so on. So that's a known fact. So when Narad Muni used to preach to Kayadhu, the child in the womb used to learn all the knowledge. And when Hiranyakashipu came back from the penance, Kayadhu was sent back to Hiranyakashipu's palace, and then she gave birth to her son, and her same son's name was Prahlad. Pra-alhad. Alhad means happiness. Pra-alhad means a lot of happiness. A person who will give a lot of happiness to someone is called Prahlad. So Hiranyakashipu used to love his son very much. But Prahlad, who was preached by Narad Muni, had become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. And here Hiranyakashipu did not like the Supreme Lord at all. He was thinking, why one should worship the Supreme Lord? You don't even see him. I am the most powerful person. You should worship me. But Prahlad Maharaj, since childhood, used to worship Krishna. Then he started going to school. And in the school also, he would talk to his friends and he would try to teach them about Krishna. He would say, listen, we are not this body, we are soul. We are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. It is our duty of a part to serve the Supreme Being. Therefore, once you serve the Supreme Lord, you will feel a lot of happiness. Actually, the real happiness comes only from serving. Seriously. Why does mother, if you're given somebody's child and say you have to change diapers 10 times a day, feed 12 times a day and not do anything and just take care of the child, it becomes very bothersome after a while. But if it is your own child and you keep serving the child, you'll derive a lot of pleasure. It's not very nice situation for the mother. She can hardly sleep at night, she can hardly sleep at day during the daytime. On her own, she would not like to be in that situation. But because she has a baby, she voluntarily accepts that situation. And she derives a lot of happiness by serving the child. For example, serving a dog. Seriously, if you think about it, when we walk the dog in the morning and he goes about doing his business, how pleasurable it is, right? But everybody derives pleasure from walking the dog because it's a service. As soon as we serve, it is our nature to serve. When we serve, we derive happiness. We always try to serve somebody. Nobody can live even a single second without serving somebody. At the end, if nothing, we will serve our senses and the needs of the body, but we will keep serving somebody all the time. Service to someone is the essence. That's our nature, inherent nature. Because we are soul, it is our nature to serve. And it's not that the God is like a dictator who become very happy when he finds slaves to serve him. No. It is in a loving relationship when one serves. Just like a husband and wife. When the wife does something for the husband, it doesn't mean the wife is the slave. Or when husband does something for the wife, it doesn't mean the husband is the slave. But just out of love, they serve each other. Or just out of love, the husband goes out and he works hard and feeds his children and brings money for the family and so on. It's just out of love. And he enjoys doing that because he's doing it for somebody to whom he loves so much. So Prahlad Maharaj used to teach his friends that you should serve the Supreme Lord, then you will feel a lot of happiness. Hiranyakashipu, long story short, because it's nearly 9 o'clock and we all must be hungry. Hiranyakashipu one day found out that Prahlad Maharaj was teaching worshipping the Supreme Lord, and is also teaching his friends to worship the Supreme Lord. So Hiranyakashipu tried killing Prahlad Maharaj because he became very envious of his son. He became very inimical towards his son. That you should consider me as most powerful. Why are you trying to consider somebody else, my enemy, as more powerful than I? But Prahlad Maharaj used to say, no, I think you're mistaken. There's only one Supreme Lord, and you also derive all your energy from him, and I also derive all my energy from him. So Hiranyakashipu used to ask him, so where is your Supreme Lord? I will kill you now, will he come to save you? And he says, yeah, he's everywhere. He's each and every particle. Nothing can exist without his presence. Actually, the scientists just now recently found something called God particle. I don't know, it was in news, it was just maybe a year ago. They discovered something within an atom. It is called God particle. And they said that is the particle which supports the whole structure of the nucleus and the atom. And so Prahlad Maharaj used to say that, Father, nothing in this world exists without the presence of the Supreme Lord. Each and every particle is manifested by the potency of the Supreme Lord. Hiranyakashipu, there was a pillar down there, so he pointed to the pillar and he says, so you want to say, Prahlad, then if I try to kill you, Krishna will come out of this pillar and save you? Prahlad says, yes. If you want him to save me after coming out of the pillar, he will. And so he took his sword, and the back end of his sword, he hit the pillar in arrogance. And when he hit the pillar, there is a place in India called Hyderabad. Is it Tamil Nadu? Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, nearby Hyderabad, there is a place called Simhachalam. Is anybody from Hyderabad here? Nobody. Okay, then I can fluently say lies and I won't. But there is a place called Simhachalam. Actually, this incident happened at that place, and still there is remains of that pillar which cracked open when Hiranyakashipu struck it. And Krishna came out of that pillar in an amazing form. See, many people say that the Supreme God has no form. But why can't he have a form? Right? The Vedic scripture says the Supreme Lord exists in 3 forms. One is just like an energy without any form. Second, as a super soul in the heart of each and every living entity. In each and every living entity, the Supreme Lord is present because we are very dear to Him. He will not leave us alone for a single second. So He is present with us in our heart, and that form is called Paramatma, or the super soul form. Atma is the soul, Paramatma is the super soul. And the third form in which He exists is in the Bhagavan form, His personal form. If we are all personal, if everything we see in this world is personal, then why should we believe that God is impersonal? That God is energy. As a matter of fact, in order to have a loving exchange between two people, you need them to be personal. One cannot just stand in void and become happy. We cannot just close ourselves in a room for 50 days and maybe for one day we become happy because we don't have the ruckus from outside. But after 2 or 3 days, we need company. In order to be happy, we need to have somebody who's personal. Why should God be impersonal? So the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole Vedic civilization, it says that God has 3 forms. Impersonal, the super soul form, where He stays in each and every heart. But then He's also present in His personal form, as Krishna, in the spiritual world. And with that Krishna, we have eternal relationship. And based on the devotees who have seen that personal form, these deities are made. They have explained in the scriptures when they have seen that Krishna looks like this. He has eyes like lotus petals. He has hands like the trunk of banana tree. And he's wearing earrings which are like shark shaped. And he has curly hair and so on. Dark complexion like a monsoon cloud. So very vivid description of Krishna is given in the Vedic scriptures. So the same Krishna, he came out of the pillar, breaking upon the pillar. But because Brahma had promised Hiranyakasipu that no human being or no animal will be able to kill you, nothing whom I have created will kill you. So Krishna is not created by Brahma. Brahma is created by Krishna. And so Krishna took the form of a half lion and half human being. So he's neither an animal, neither he is a human being. He appeared during the twilight time, around 7ish, when it is not day nor it is night. Because Hiranyakashipu had asked, I should not be killed during the day, nor I should be killed during night. Then he had said, not a single weapon should be able to kill me. So he had, because he was a lion, in the form of upper body was lion, he had big nails. So he used the nails to rip apart Hiranyakashipu's chest. Hiranyakashipu said, I should not be killed inside my house or outside my house. So he took Hiranyakashipu and put him on his lap and sat right in the middle of the entrance of the door. That is not considered outside, it's not considered inside. And then he said, I should not die in the air, I should not die on the earth, I should not die in the sky, in the water. So Krishna sat down and he put him on his lap. Because now he's not on earth, he's not in sky, now he's not on water. And he placed him on his lap and he pierced him open. So then it looks like, oh my God, he's such a cruel person, right? Why does God have to kill somebody? Sometimes, in order to show mercy, you have to give some harsh treatment. But just like a father, sometimes to teach something to the child, he'll say some harsh words, or sometimes, that's why, when I grew up, I got beaten up quite a bit by my parents. And they used to say that unless you get beaten up by a parent, you will not turn out to be a good kid. Now, it's not that my parents were serial beaters and they used to take out their frustration on me while, but now the culture has changed, right? Now we can't even lay a hand on a child. They can call 911. Because that whole facility of training our children has been abused. Because there are so many parents who are alcoholic, who are stressed out because of work pressure or their own needs and desires, that they try to take the frustration upon the child, the poor child, who cannot defend himself. So the government has now made a system. Sorry, you cannot do that anymore. But before, when we were living in a healthy environment where people were not so much stressed out, intoxication was not common at all. In India, it was considered if somebody would be drinking any kind of alcohol, they will not give their daughter in marriage to that person at all. And now today, if you go to any Indian marriages, there's alcohol in the marriage. They'll say, I will not marry till you have alcohol in the wedding party. But even when I used to get married, which is only a few years ago, they would ask, does your son drink any kind of alcohol? They'll say, does he eat meat? If you say, yes, he eats meat, then I don't want my daughter to marry him. Because they say if he's eating meat, means he has cruel nature. How can you fill your stomach by taking away somebody's life? That is the basic principle of vegetarianism. Having compassion for each and every living entity. How can you fill your stomach? It becomes like a cemetery, a burial place for so many dead carcasses. So cruelty If you're eating meat, then it is, certain nature becomes cruel, it becomes hardened, right? So they say, I don't want my daughter to be married to that person. Because, for him to kill a chicken and eat, it's very simple. Maybe one day my daughter may say something wrong and he may. So, and then drinking, not considered good, because when you drink, you cannot keep control of your mind. And a lot of domestic violence happens because of drinking. Right? Nowadays, I know so many of my colleagues who never drank in their whole life. After they take a professional life, they start drinking and eating meat. Why? Because I want to fit into the environment. Otherwise, I will not get promoted. Nothing like that. You get promoted because of your skills. You don't want to work for a company who will only promote you if you drink. That's a wrong company to work for. Actually, it doesn't happen like that anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is, right, so many things are there which are just ingrained in our culture. Right? So, when the Supreme Lord, when He wants to show mercy on somebody, He's not really killing that person, because the basis of spiritual life is we are not this body, we are soul. Actually, anybody that Krishna kills or slays, they get promoted to the spiritual world. He gives them a better body and He says, now, you were in a wrong existence. I have purified you by giving you this punishment. Actually. So each and every demon that Krishna kills, He's not killing out of hatred. He's killing out of pure love. Just like a father, out of love for his child, sometimes says, Bhavya, don't do that. And Bhavya might cry. For a minute, she might think, oh, my dad is so cruel, he's not giving me iPhone, but I'm only 6 years old. All my friends have iPhone. You're mean. Well, the dad is mean because he wants you to focus on your studies. Right? So similarly, Hiranyakashipu, we may think, oh my God, such a ghastly thing, why did he rip him open? No, it really wanted to just, took away that miserable body and gave him another body. So, the day on which Nrsimhadev is called Narasingha, Nar means human, Singha means lion. The day on which Nrsimhadev appeared, it is recorded in the scriptures. It's the 14th day of the moon. The whole Indian calendar works on a lunar calendar. So it's called Narsingha, the 4th day of the moon, it's called Narsingha Chaturthi. It's coming on this Saturday, so we are celebrating today, it's tomorrow actually. And if you somehow visit India, there is a place called Ahobilam, and on YouTube, you just type Nrsimhadev, India, or Ahobilam. There is one American devotee, his name was Bhima. He went to India for a pilgrimage to Ahobilam, and there's about 9 or 13 temples, and it's a very magical place. You should. It's only 29 minutes video. One should watch it if they have time. Ahobilam, but that place where Nrsimhadev appeared is still present. Actually, there is a temple just nearby there. It's called Panakal Nrsimhadev. There's a deity of Nrsimhadev, and only the face is visible. The body is within the ground, and the wonder of that deity is that he is worshipped by offering of jaggery water, right? And if anybody has gone to India, there's many things very commonly seen in India. Cows on the road, flies at each and every place. You don't see a single fly here unless it is summer. In India, flies are very rampant. You put some food, 10 flies will come and sit on it. It'll look like mustard-covered muffin. In mosquitoes is very common in India, and ants is very common in India, because when people eat, stuff fall and then the ants come out. It's natural habitat. People spend money to go and see all these wonderful things in the Western world. In India, everything is available on the streets. You don't have to go to the zoo to see all those things. Actually, go to YouTube and Google India traffic. If you see the way the traffic goes in India, there is no question that God exists, right? Only God can save the drivers over there, the way they drive the cars and everything. But at Panakal Nrsimhadev, they offer jaggery water, but there is not a single ant in the whole premises. Not a single ant is seen in that premises. That's number one thing. Because the jaggery water attracts ants. Number two, there is a there is a priest who lives in the temple. So if you want to offer jaggery water, you make some and you give it to the priest. So let's say it's a 1 liter container. The priest will start pouring in the mouth of Nrsimhadev. You can hear some gurgling sound, gurg, 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 as if he's drinking. And as soon as it becomes half, it will stop accepting anymore. And then he gives you back. Now you can take 5 liters, you get 2.5 back. You get 1 liter, you get half a liter back. You take 10 liters, you get 5 liters back. It's amazing. I mean, and a lot of people, archaeologists, scientists, they have done research as to where this water is going. They can't find where the water is going. Nor they can find why it stops exactly at half. There is a place in Vrindavan where a devotee named Sanatan Goswami used to live, nearby Nandagam. And is everybody familiar with Lord Shiva? He's the Lord of Destruction. It's very famous. There's many Lord Shiva t-shirts also floating around. And I think there is a beer also on Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva used to live nearby, and Sanatan Goswami used to stay there, and he was bothered by the mosquitoes. He was not able to meditate. And so one day he decided to leave that place, and Lord Shiva appeared to him. And he says, "My dear Sanatan Goswami, why are you going away from here?" He says, "There are too many mosquitoes here. I cannot properly meditate." He says, "If you'll stay here, if I get rid of all the mosquitoes?" He said, "Yeah." Till today, there's a lot of mosquitoes around there, but where Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir is, not a single mosquito. And it's not that they have put some repellent somewhere which we can't see, nothing. So all these mystical things are there. It begs a question. And I'll just stop here today, but I want to just leave you with one question. Everybody says that there is no God. Everything is happening by chance and everything is running by chance. Just sit down and think carefully. How many things happen by chance in our life? I mean, do you think this computer that we just bought came in our life by chance? Or how many things got created by chance? Or, and I'm not trying to create a debate, but there's a Big Bang theory, right? That there was a Big Bang and then the universe was created. Prabhupada used to say, where did the ingredients of the Big Bang come? No answer. There has to be a designer, there has to be a maintainer to run this whole thing. If to run a small company or a small nation, if there is such a big government required, how does this big planets float in the air and they never collide with anybody? How is that? What kind of traffic management system is out there? Who's running? Who created gravity? Why are we not floating in the air? So all these things that beg a question. And that is the beginning of spiritual life. It's called Athato Brahma Jigyasa. You want to say something? It's called Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It's inquiring into who I am, who is God, why am I here, why am I suffering even if I don't want to suffer. These are the basic questions of the life. I will end here. I'm sorry I jumped at many places, but I just wanted to present few things, especially for the new guests, and so that just I could provide some food for thought, and then you're most welcome to ask any questions that you would have. After this, we're going to have a small, it's called Aarti ceremony, where we offer lamp to the Supreme Lord. And after that, we will serve dinner prasadam. It's the food that is offered to the God. And I'm sure you would love the prasadam. Please eat more than you normally eat at home. And we meet here every week, every Friday. And whenever you are free, you're most welcome here. If you have any questions, please, you can call us, email us, or we can also discuss while honoring prasadam together. Thank you. My name is Prashant Patel. I live in Harrisburg. I work for IBM. I manage the supply chain business. IBM sold their PC business to Lenovo. Lenovo is the #1 PC company right now, made in China. And we have a spare part business which does the after sales warranty business. So I manage the inventory portion of that business for IBM. And so I'm just a regular guy who works 10, at least 12 hours on average every day to pay the mortgage. And is equally miserable as anybody else in this room. But somehow, we try to find a means to connect ourselves with the real aim of the life. And we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
If anybody would like to experiment, we have beads. The devotees can give you the beads and they can show you how to chant on the bead. It's very therapeutic. If nothing, it'll lower your blood pressure, guaranteed. If you do it for a few months, it'll lower your cholesterol, guaranteed. And it'll bring a lot of happiness and peace in our life. That's a real tangible result of this. Very tangible. And many devotees has done this, and it helps them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prushtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pajaye Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatra Deshatare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Oh Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Ladu Gopal, Jaya Ladu Gopal, Ladu Gopal, Jaya Ladu Gopal. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya,
Prahlada Lada Dayana, Prahlada Lada Dayana, Prahlada Lada Dayana.
हिरण्यकाशे पूर्वक्षहार शीलाशंका नकाला है
Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingha Bahi Narsingha Hidaye Narsingha Bahir Narsingha Hidaye Narsingha Narasingha Madhim Sharana Prapade Narasingha Madhim Sharana Prapade Tava Kara Kamala Vare Natha Adhuta Singha Lalita Hiranya Kashipu Naluvena Keshava Gita Nara Hari Rupa Jaya Krishna Hare Jaya Jagdisha Hare Jaya Jagdisha Hare Kamala Vare Natha Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdisha Hare Jai Jagdisha Hare Jai Jagdisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdisha Hare Oh Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Nara Hari Jaya Nara Hari Nara Hari Jaya Nara Hari Oh Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Bhakti Vinash Thakur Narsingh Bhagwan ki Jai Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Gaur Premanande All glories to Samal Devotee All glories to Samal Devotee All glories to Shri Shri Ranjan